Okay, good and recording. So welcome again, guys. It's Friday. So another 1 hour Pilates class for you coming right up. So we'll do, of course, our usual breathing to start, stretching, warming up the body, and then we'll move into all the good core work. So let's go ahead and get started. Scooch back here. I'm just going to check the time. Okay, so I know when we start. And we will begin, as we always do, lying on our back. So let's start with the knees bent, feet grounded on the floor. And you're wanting your knees and feet always hip bone width distance apart, right? So 2 fists away from one another. Arms resting down beside you, pulled slightly away with palms turned up, shoulders rolling open. Reach the crown of your head all the way to the back of your workspace. Really elongate the back of your neck. The chin should be just about fist distance from your chest. So I want to imagine throughout class that you have a tennis ball here between your chin and chest that you are holding on to, and you never want to drop it, nor do you want to crush it, right? We just want to hold it nicely to keep that nice neutral position. You'll softly close the eyes here, allowing yourself to go a bit more inward, right? Bringing focus inside of us so that we can really start to connect our mind and body. And we're going to be doing that through our breath work. So let's start by taking a nice deep inhale through your nose. And then a long, steady exhale out through your mouth. Breathing in, you want to fill all the way up to the top with air. And then as you exhale, you want to make sure that you empty out completely, right? All the way down to the very bottom. As you breathe in, the ribs will expand out as the lungs fill up. Think of your midsection like an accordion. Then as you exhale, you're going to squeeze the breath out from beginning to end. And really feel the ribs start knitting and pulling back to your midline. Let's continue to stay here with this breath. Focusing on a light, easy inhale, but a more really strong, powerful exhale. That breath out should be very audible. That is going to physically change your powerhouse. So maybe one hand to belly so you can feel. As you breathe in, your belly will rise. And those muscles in your core stay relaxed. But then when you start to, right, push and force the breath out with all that power, those muscles begin to engage, right? Contraction of core, firming of belly. You can physically feel that with your hand. So continue this here. This rising, and this active drawing downward towards spine. Let's go ahead and take 3 more cycles of breath here. Pulling your abs in even deeper. Each time you exhale. Let's do this one more time, breathing in. And then letting go. From here, let's interlace the fingers and take our hands behind the head. Make sure that you're cupping the base of your skull right before your neck begins, and that your hands aren't on your neck whatsoever. You're then going to take your elbows and lift them up to the sky so that your arms are now closely framing your head. We never want that to change. Our arms will be a support for our head as it gets cradled nicely. Take an inhale. Keep the head heavy as you exhale and lift up the back of head and back of neck, bringing your chin down into your chest. So using hand and arm strength here. Keep the head lifted as you breathe into the back side of the neck. And then on the exhale, gently return the head back to the ground again. So we're just getting a stretch to the back side to start. Breathe in, prepare. Exhale, find the lift. And then the press in, chin to chest. Stay here, breathe in to the back side of your neck again. And then on your exhale, go ahead and return the head back to the floor. We're going to do this once more, but this time on your inhale, use your hands to try to pull your head further away from your shoulders, bringing more length into your spine, your cervical spine, that is. And then on your exhale, as the head lifts, it gets just maybe a slightly deeper, more pull to the back side. And then when you inhale, send it to the back of your neck, then down through your shoulder blades. And then exhale, gently return the head back to the floor. And once your head has grounded, release your hands. Take the arms above you, stacked above the shoulders, palms facing each other, hands are shoulder width apart. With your next inhale, take those arms and reach them up high, shrug your shoulders. And then on your exhale, plug those shoulders back down into the floor, press in. We'll do that a couple more times. Shrugging up as you inhale. This is what we want to avoid mostly during our class. This is just so you can feel the sensation in your body. And then exhale, when you plug back in, that's the activation of your shoulder girdle. We want to feel that in our body. Let's do this once more. Shrug up on an inhale. It kind of closes your chest off, but then when you plug back down, your heart space broadens out. And we want to maintain that throughout our practice. Now on your next inhale, take those arms and slowly reach them overhead. And as you do that, really firm your belly. Feel the ribs seal down towards your spine. Then as you exhale, you're going to circle the arms back beside you, either having the arms still touching ground or as close to the floor as you can. We're working on shoulder mobility. So inhale, the arms lift up, reach back, ribs seal down, and then exhale, sweep out and lower beside you. We'll do 2 more of these. Reach as high as you can while still maintaining that plug down of behind you, overhead, spinal imprinting, and then reach out as wide as you can, then lower down as far as you can reach to your heels, and then let the arms just relax here. From this space, we're going to take the feet a step out to each side so that your feet are a little bit wider than shoulder width. Your knees will do the same. And then these arms are now going to come out to T. Backs of shoulders still actively plugged down to keep your upper body stable as we move into our hips and our lower back. On an inhale, let your legs gently fall to the right. And then exhale, firmed belly, begin to slowly pull the legs back up to starting point. Breathing in, legs then lower to your left. And then exhale, lifting back to center. So we're going to continue this windshield wiper movement, which is working on mobility of our hips and stretching out the hip flexors a bit. Also, the side-to-side movement allows the lower back to get a little rotation as well. Your core is working for the lift of legs, so the legs don't really do much work. They're just there for the ride. Let's do 1 more to our left side. And then as the legs return to center, we'll keep them there and we'll bring the feet and knees back to hip width apart. From here, the lower belly draws down and you'll start to lift your feet off the ground, draw your knees to your chest. Place your hands on your knees and just start to draw some circles with your legs, using your hands for guidance. We're massaging now into that lower back region, right? Your SI joints, which are just above your tailbone. Getting a nice range of motion here, so take your time to find that within your own body. But take a moment to pause and then reverse direction of movement. We're used to, as humans, doing things in one way, right? Our dominant side. So it's nice to balance our bodies out here. Good. And let's go ahead and bring the legs to still, nicely centered. Now we're still going to use our hands. Now we're going to take them and separate the legs this time. Circle around and back and together again. So we separate. You're going to open the legs as wide as you can, circling around and back in together. So again, really slow this down and focus on how big you can make these circles. Because what we're working with is the mobility of hips still, but within the joints. So that's where the movement itself is stemming from, not from the feet or ankles or knees, but really at the base. Let's take 2 more cycles through. One last time. Good, and let the legs come together again. Let's return our feet back to the ground, and this time we'll have the arms beside us. Now we're going to start stretching out our outer hips. Right ankle is going to cross over your left knee, and you're going to flex the foot for energy. You're going to use that energy to push the leg away from your body, really open up that hip space. You can also take your hand or a few fingers to the inside of the thigh to guide that open as well. Any variation of the figure 4 stretch you'd like to take, You could choose to keep your left foot grounded or hold your left leg up and maybe even gently pull it in a bit closer to your body. Whew, my hips are tight. You could also offer some movement here, gently and slowly, rocking side to side, shifting your body weight from right to left is going to change the sensation and the location and perhaps even intensity of the stretch to your right hip. So if you are deciding to offer movement and explore that, just be very mindful. Take your time so that your mind can really catch up to the feeling that's being created. Wonderful. If you were moving the body, you're going to start to bring yourself back to still, nicely centered. Let's go ahead and release that left leg if it was being held. Left foot back to the ground. Make sure it lands lined up with your hip. Keep the right ankle over left knee and keep that right leg still actively pushing open. Let's interlace fingers, taking hands behind the head. This time, elbows point from wall to wall so that the arms stay wide. Take an inhale. As you exhale, start to lift up head, neck, and shoulders, and then right towards the bottom of your breath, take a little twist to your right. And then unravel through center, return down, breathe in. Now, keeping the legs nice and steady, exhale, peel up head, neck, shoulders, again to the right, right towards the bottom of your breath. And then return back to the floor again, breathe in. We're going to do 4 more of these. Three more. Make sure the elbows are actively pulling back, 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 back. Yep. Return back down. So we're getting our center core and the obliques. 2 more times. Exhale, belly firmed, rotation. Return down, breathe in. 1 last time. Good. And then return back to the ground. Release the hands, arms beside you, right foot back down to the floor. We'll do the other side. Left ankle over right knee, energy through your heel, pressing the leg out, opening up your hip. Again, any variation of the figure 4 you'd like to take. Just shift your attention to your left side. Breathe into that space. Soften where you can. Check with your shoulders in relation to your ears. Also check back in with that tennis ball. Did it slide out? Maybe because the chin had poked a little bit too high to the sky. All right, so always just being aware of our bodily alignment and sometimes the tension that we can create, which is fairly natural for humans to do. All right, if you were in movement, coming back to still, the right leg were lifted up, taking the foot down, line it up with its hip. Interlacing fingers, hands behind head, left leg still pushing away from body. Take an inhale. Exhale, start a slow peel up, and then right towards the end of breath, now you'll rotate to your left side, taking a twist. And then return back to center, breathe in. Again, exhale, lift and rotate, smooth movement here. Come back through center. So it's not 2 separate choppy ones, it's 1 transitional one. 4 more. So you're moving along with your breath here. 3 more. 2 more. One last time. A lift through center, then a rotation towards the end of the breath. Good. Return through center, lower it down, release hands, arms beside you. Go ahead and take that left foot back to the ground. Let's draw the knees into chest and lift legs high to the sky. Pointed toes to keep them long and strong. Hold the back of your right leg with both hands and start to lower the left leg towards the ground. Find a level that will work for you. You can choose to keep your head grounded with this stretch and exercise, or you can choose to lift the head up to provide more work for the abdominals. 2 pulses in with your right leg when you inhale. Switch the legs with control. Exhale, grab the left leg, 2 pulses in, and then switch on the breath out. Continuing this single straight leg exercise. Pulsation for the stretch into the hamstrings. And due to the pulsation, our upper body needs to be stabilized using our core strength. If head is lifted, eyes on navel to keep the neck long. Shoulders actively pulled down away from your ears. Then fall away. If you start to feel strain in your neck and your head is up, take the head down, redirect focus back to your core. Good, let's stay here for 5 more seconds. 4, nice long legs. 3, 2, 1. Legs meet together at sky. Return head down if it were lifted. Draw knees in and take a moment to recover. Maybe some rocking side to side or a nice deep cleansing breath in and out. I want us to continue to work a bit more with hip mobility, as this is a common area that can get really tight or has some discomfort and pain. So we're going to kind of work through these most requested areas of the body. So let's take the legs back up again. Pointed toes again for the activation of your legs. If my feet are dead weighted, my knees are going to start to, for me personally, my knees are going to start to naturally bend because now my muscles have just given away. So when I point the toes, I can really start to press the backs of my legs forward to provide the length, and then rooting the tailbone down. Remember, we don't want the legs to be pulled in too closely because then our core doesn't have to fight to work as much or at all for that matter. So rooted down. Then with pointed toes, I want you to externally rotate your legs so you create the letter V with your feet. Not only will we be working with mobility of our hips, but we're also going to be activating our inner thighs and our core. Arms are either down beside or out to T for support. On a breath in, you're going to open the legs into the biggest V that you can create, the biggest straddle. And then on your exhale, you're going to draw the legs back up together, but cross your right ankle over your left ankle and feel the inner thighs squeeze tightly towards each other. Toes reach straight up to the sky. Then we'll open again with an inhale. Make sure you maintain that external rotation of both legs. Exhale, this time left ankle crosses over right. Small cross, inner thighs hug in together tight. Let's do it with breath now. Inhale for the opening, big V. Exhale for crossing right over left. Inhale for an opening. And then exhale left over right. We're going to do one more to each. Breath in, point, reach through those toes. Exhale, close, cross right over left. Inhale, open to V again. Last time here, exhale, cross left over right. Squeeze the inner thighs. Then uncross your ankles and draw your knees into your chest. Recovery. Right, so while we were moving our legs, everything else in the body should have been very still. So we're going to add to that the same movement we're going to continue to take with our legs. We're also going to add in the same exact movement with our arms. So now you want to imagine that your extremities, right, arms and legs, as if they were separated and detached from the rest of your body so that your torso and your head stay like a statue. So let's go ahead, take the legs back up, pointed toes, tailbone grounded. Arms to sky with palms facing each other. Inhale now, legs and arms are going to open to V. And then you're going to cross right wrist and right ankle over left wrist, left ankle, hug inner thighs, open to V. So I'm squeezing my fingers together to keep my arms stiff like a board. One line of energy. Open on an inhale, big V with legs and arms. Exhale, cross right over left. Inhale for the opening, root your spine down, exhale, cross left over right. Now, lift up head, neck, and shoulders, and inhale, open arms and legs, exhale, cross right over left. Breathe in for the opening, left over right. Let's do one more each. Breath in, open, take your time, exhale, cross with a bit of resistance. Once more, opening, breathe in, exhale, cross. Then uncross wrists and ankles, draw the knees in, head down, recovery here. All right, let's keep our knees into our chest. Let's come into stillness if there were some movement. Arms are going to start either down beside, out to T if you want more support, Or lifted arms if you want less support. If your arms are lifted, remember the plugging down of shoulder head, the reaching up of fingertips, and then making sure those arms never, never move. Okay. Take an inhale with legs drawn in close. When you exhale, go ahead and extend both legs slowly away from your body. Point your toes again and lengthen out through them. Draw the knees back into chest using hip flexor strength. So again, extending the legs away from your body, closer to the ground is going to be more intense for your core, higher to the sky, a little bit more ease. Draw the knees back in again. Inhale, we're just taking 2 more, just like this. So exhale, take the entire breath out to lengthen those legs. Inhale the same way, drawing in. One more time, extension, fully lengthened out. Spine presses in, belly firms, and then knees pull towards chest again. Now let's keep the legs here for a moment. And if your arms were not lifted for that, let's go ahead and lift them for this one. Plug down, reach high, make sure your hands are shoulder width apart. Take an inhale. This time as you exhale, extend the legs, bring the arms down to hover and lift up your head, neck, and shoulders all at the same time. And then return back to starting point. Breathe in, knees in, arms stack, head down. Exhale, legs lengthen, head, neck, and shoulders peel up. Arms are just going to kind of naturally pull down to hover. And then draw everything back in, stack up, rest down. 2 more just like this. Good. Return down, breathe in. Last one here, exhale. Find your end point, stay here. Now pump the arms. Arms only, everything else steady, still for 5. Keep breathing. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then rest, recover here. Head down, knees in, movement or stillness, whatever you would prefer. All right. Let's get into our roll-ups next. I really like this. I always put roll-ups in because I think it's a great core exercise, and there's ways you can really build up your strength with that just one exercise, and then also gives you a really deep back body stretch. So let's go ahead and lengthen the legs all the way onto the ground. I know that my feet are cut off here, but you want your feet flexed. So pushing out through your heels, lifting your toes to the sky, but also really making sure that the inner edges of your feet run parallel to each other so that your legs roll and hug into midline. We want all that energy brought to our center line space. Arms are going to reach overhead with palms facing each other. We're going to slide the shoulder blades down our back and then take the middle of your spine, press it to the ground, seal the ribs down, and activate your core. Breathing in, start your peel up, arms, head, shoulders. Exhale about tips of shoulder blades to pull yourself up slowly. Stack up really tall, and then begin to hinge from your hips as you fold over your legs. Keep your feet flexed, that's important. Your arms are going to lower, but only so that they are parallel now to your legs, and the head is going to gently become heavy through your arms, so ease into the stretch. It is a very juicy one, so we want to take our time. Let's stack up on the inhale, fingertips reach high to the sky. And then as you exhale, you're going to tuck your tailbone under as deeply as you can. You're rounding your spine and you're scooping at your core. You're pushing out through your heels as you return to the mat. And then we begin again. Inhale, give yourself a head start. Pull up slower than you'd like. Use all that core strength to draw you upright tall. Hinge from your hips. Gently ease into your stretch. Inhale, find your lift. And then roll down. Make sure that you look straight ahead. Remember that tennis ball. We don't want to squish it, nor do we want to drop it. We'll add to our roll up, but beginning stays the same. Inhale, the lift starts. Feel the legs pressing into the earth downward as your heart lifts upward to sky. Fold over your legs. Stretch. This time as you stack tall, keep the arms stretched out in front of you. and drop the shoulders from your ears. On your exhale now, tuck your tailbone, roll back just a notch and hold that space and inhale again. Right leg on your exhale is going to slowly lift off the ground, keep pushing forward through the heel. And then return the leg down with control, breathe in. So we're strengthening our quads and our core. Exhale, the left leg pulls up. Notice the rest of my body stays nice and still. Take the leg down on an inhale. Good, roll back a little bit further, exhale. Keep your chest lifted and opened. Exhale, now the right leg again is going to pull up. Feel the quad and the core firing. Return down, breathe in. Exhale, the left leg, pulling up. And then return it down, breathe in. Exhale, now let's roll back a little bit further. We're gonna do 2 more sets, so hold the space, inhale. Shoulders down, chest up. Exhale, the right leg pulls up, slow. Take the leg down, breathe in. Left leg, squeeze that breath out. Take the leg down on an inhale. 1 more time, so let's come back a little bit further. Inhale. Right leg. Take it down, breathe in. Left side. Starting to quiver. Come back down on an inhale. Now on your exhale, pull your body back up slowly to seated. Reach your arms to the sky. And then now let's melt forward over the legs, letting your feet relax, letting your head relax, letting your arms relax. Still getting a stretch into the back body, just a little less intense into like our calves and our hamstrings, but more into the spine. And also if you start to maybe even kind of point the toes forward, you get a nice stretch into the tops of your feet and the fronts of your ankles and parts of your shin. Good. All right, let's go ahead and roll up to seated. From seated, we're going to go ahead and transition to a tabletop position. And then from there, we're going to move into a different alignment. But so let's go ahead and come into tabletop. I'm going to turn to face forward so you can see what our next position is going to look like. You have a better kind of angle when I am facing the camera. So in your tabletop position, your fingers are spread wide and you're lightly gripping the ground with your fingertips. Your knees are hip width apart. You're not collapsing and falling into the arms. You're lifting and puffing out of them. Your lower belly is in and up, and you're looking slightly forward. So what I'd like you to do from here is take your left hand and step it into the center of your workspace. Then you're going to take the left heel, right, your foot, you're going to kickstand the foot out to the side. Then you're going to roll open. Now this is where I'm going to turn, so this is a better way to see the final product. I'm going to roll open to my right side, stretch my right leg back and lift my right arm up. So I'm in a modified side plank. So when you look down, you're going to notice you want your right leg that's extended, your left leg that is bent, and your left arm to be all in one even line. If your hand's too far forward or if your hand's too far back, we have then lost our length. So let's maintain all that. So check in and adjust if needed. I had to pull my left hand back just a bit. Right hand or right arm is up. My palm is faced forward and my fingers are spread even though you can't see them. We're going to move into what's called thread the needle. So this is a subtle, what I like to consider a subtle core exercise. It's more of a mental exercise than a physical one, as we could easily do this without engaging the core at all. So it's really important that we're very connected to, mindful of, and reminding those muscles to activate as we move through this next exercise. So we'll take a deep breath in, look up to your right hand. And then as you exhale, you're going to take that right arm and you're going to scoop it and thread it underneath you. You're going to reach behind you. You're going to look back to the hand. And as you do, round your back, round your back. I'm wearing the wrong clothes. Usually I wear something a little bit more snug fitting. So what you want to do here is your front body should be really scooped and hollowed out, not just collapsed. So hollow, hollow, and then breathe in, reach that arm back up nice and high, look to the sky, almost stretch it back behind you, roll your heart open now. So we're getting a little bit more range of motion. And then exhale again. That right arm is going to thread underneath, scoop out your core and let your eyes follow that hand back behind you. And then lengthen back up again, reach your heart to the sky, a little bit of a back bend here. So almost doing like a flexion and extension of spine. Once more, thread the needle. Scoop the lower belly in and up as you thread the arm through. Then go ahead and flatten up the spine as you lengthen your arms straight up, stack right above the shoulder. And then as you breathe out, return the right hand down, the right knee down, pull your left foot in, and then that left hand steps out to line up with its shoulder for tabletop. So we're gonna do that on the other side. I'm just gonna flip around so I'm not facing away from you guys. So right hand's gonna step to center, right heel kicking out, rolling open to the left side for a modified side plank. Take a moment to line up. Left leg, right arm. Okay. Either tented fingers or even a fist to the floor so that you can really push away from the ground. So again, we're not falling into anything. We're strengthening and lifting out of. Again, your left palm should face forward and the fingers should be spread. So when you inhale, look up to that left hand. And then as you exhale, thread that left arm underneath, scoop out your core, round your back, and look behind you. And then sweep that arm back up again. Breathe in. This time we're going to reach it back, roll the heart open, look to the ceiling, and then exhale. Rounded, scooped out, reach through the arm. Let's do two more here. Inhale, sweep up, reach back, look up. Exhale, thread, hollow, scoop. Keep your lower half steady. Once more, breathe in, reach high, open your heart to the sky. And then exhale, threading through. Good, restack, realign, arm directly above the shoulder. And then on your exhale, return back to tabletop position. Wonderful. From your tabletop, you're going to go ahead and take your right leg with your next exhale and extend the leg behind you. Pointed toes for this one. So reaching straight back. Notice if you put a bit more weight to your left leg, which can happen, it's common, make sure that you bring enough weight to your right arm. Fingers still spread, lift out of those arms, pull the belly in and up, take an inhale. And then on your exhale, lift that right leg up just a little bit higher, only using the strength of your glute. And then take the leg right in line with spine on an inhale. So it's a small movement here. Exhale, looking slightly forward, keeping the heart stretching to the front of your workspace. And then bring the leg back in line with spine. We're gonna do 4 more of these. 4. You should feel your core working here as well to stabilize everything else. 3 more, lift. Good, and bring it back in line. 2 more times. Exhale, find lift. And then line it up 1 more time. Lift the leg. Good, take it back in line. And now let's flex the foot. So with your next exhale now, hinge from the knee joint and bring the heel to glute. Now pause here. Notice my knee did not drop down. This is not what we want. We want the knees to still be reaching straight back, right in level with the hip. And then stretch the leg back behind you again. Inhale. We're activating the hamstring. Curl heel to glute. And then stretch the leg back on and inhale. We're doing 4 more of these. 4. Belly in, belly up. Reach back. Lift out of those arms. 3 more. Keep those elbows soft. And core firmed. 2 more times. Curl in. Hamstring activation. Release. So make sure that foot is nicely flexed. Once more. Exhale. Curl in. Good. Reach back on an inhale. And then return the knee to the floor. Ooh, tuck your toes under and just push back towards your heels, but also stretch the heart forward. So it's not quite a child's pose. As the energy of your sits bones pushing back and your heart at the same time reaching forward just allows the kind of outer hip and glute region to stretch out a little bit better than if you were sitting down onto your heels. So there's a lot going on with just that simple movement. Yes, we were very focused on our glute to start and then the hamstring, but there's still a lot going on with the upper body, right? Your shoulders, your lats, your upper back muscles are working hard to frame your body up. Your core, of course, is working to make sure your body weight doesn't shift and that the rest of your body stays nice and still. Okay, so let's untuck the toes, come back up to our tabletop position. Get your structure here going, and then with your next exhale, you're going to take your left leg and stretch it back behind you. Toes are pointed to keep the leg locked out. Again, notice, did your hips become uneven? Did that left hip kind of lift higher than your right? Make sure that the top of your foot is pointing directly down or squared up to the ground beneath you to keep your hips level. And then on your exhale, the left leg is going to lift up a bit higher using glute strength. And then take the leg back in line with the rest of the body. Again, lift. And then line up with the spine. We're doing 4 more of these. 4. 3 more. Check in with your arms. Are you locking the elbows? 2 more. Are you sinking into the shoulders? 1 last time. Let's lift the leg up. Let's bring it back in line, and then let's flex the foot, push through the heel. Now your pinky toe, make sure it still points straight down. And then exhale, now we're bending at the knee, curling heel to glute, but notice my knee, again, does not sink down. It stays lined up nice. Stretch back on an inhale. Again, exhale, curl in. Good, and then reach back, and we're doing 4 more of these. Navel pulls up to spine, curl. And extend out, heart forward. 3 more. Good, reach back 2 more times, curl in, right? Keep pushing out through the heel of your foot. 1 last time, exhale, curl in, reach back. Good, take the knee to the floor, tuck the toes. You're gonna push your sits bones back, but you're also gonna stretch the heart forward. I like to come to my elbows so that I can kind of roll out my wrists. Being in tabletop for an extended period of time can get a little discomforting. Just checking in on the time as well. Wonderful. Okay. All right, I'd like us to move into some side leg work next. So let's all start lying on our right side to begin. Right side. So when you come down onto your right side, you just want to make sure your body's lined up nicely. And you're stacked up, your legs, your hips, your shoulders. Left hand to hip, always point that elbow straight up to the sky. That's been my new thing lately, and it really is helpful. It's a guideline. So if you notice the elbow has shifted, there's a great chance that something else in your body has. Mainly it would be the shoulders or the hips or both. And what we want to try to maintain throughout is that stacked alignment. And we use our core strength to provide that stability. All right, so elbow to sky, both feet are flexed. Feel that bottom leg push into the floor. Feel the top leg hover, and then a subtle inward rotation of leg. On your next exhale, you're going to lift that left leg up a little bit higher, but make sure that the toes don't roll up into the sky. And then take the leg back to hover again on an inhale. Again, exhale. Firm the belly in. And then hover the leg on and inhale. We're only going to do 2 more of these. So exhale, find the lift. Good. Bring it back to hover. Once more, exhale, find the lift. Good, and then take the leg all the way down for just a moment. I want you from here to take that left hand to the ground just for some support as we slowly tuck the knees in close to our body. As closely as we can tuck them in. And then from there, we're going to take those legs and stretch them all the way out in front of us, as far in front of us as we can. Try to bring our body into a 90-degree angle as much as possible. So once you've got your body in that space, you're going to take your hand back to your hip. Remember, the elbow is still pointing to the sky. We're going to start with that left leg once again hovered. Now, our body, since it's in a different angle, make sure that inward rotation still applies here. So we're not, the leg doesn't come out of alignment. So imagine now this left leg, we're between 2 thin panes of glass. right? Like this tube almost, and you can't go rogue, right? You have to stay nice and vertical with the lift. So on your exhale, lifting, it's smaller and it's much more intense due to the shape of our body. Back to hover. So remember, glass tube, so that foot can't pull behind your grounded foot nor in front of, right? And lift and take it back down. We're doing just 2 more of these because they're pretty intense, right? Find the lift, a lot of hip strength here. Whew, happening. Back to hover. Once more. Ooh, good. And then slowly take the leg all the way back down again. Bend the knee in. Take a moment just to kind of knead that out or tap it out. Yeah, so noticing then the difference between what it feels like when our body is in a straight line versus when our body turns into a 90-degree angle. So let's take our hand back to the ground so that we can tuck the knees back in and then stretch the legs long. From there, we're going to hover the top leg again, but this time we're going to pull the leg slightly behind us. Now, what tends to happen when the leg pulls back is our upper body leans forward. I am over-exaggerating just to show. So again, we want to stack up and feel the core tightening to support this now uneven position of body. This is going to work more into the glute and still the hip. So exhale, you're finding your lift behind you, and then come back to starting point. Again, lift. Good. Come back to starting point. We're doing 2 more here. Lift. Good. Back to start. 1 more time. Lifting leg up. Taking it to hover. And then bring the leg back so it's in line with everything else. And then from that space, we're going to pulse the leg upward. Always, always emphasize lifting, 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 and barely dropping down at all for 5, 4, belly tight, 3, breath big, 2, 1. Good. Slowly take the leg all the way down. Back one arm with that hip, so you can take a moment to tap it out again if you'd like. And I'd like us to move into our left leg, our inner thigh to be exact. So, or I'm sorry, our right leg, inner thigh, left foot behind the right leg. Hips are no longer stacked, and that is okay. Right leg is going to ankle out in front just a bit more. The foot is flexed, the leg is hovered to start, and now we're externally rotating. When you breathe out, lifting the leg up a bit more using inner thigh and lower core strength. Hover the leg, breathe in. Again, exhale, lifting it up, and then taking it to hover. We're doing 4 more of these. 4. Good, hover. 3 more times, lift. Good, and hover. Everything with resistance. 2 more times, lift. Good, hover. Once more, the leg is going to lift and it's going to stay here. Now imagine there's a marker on the heel of that foot. Use that marker to draw some circles, but make sure everything else in your body stays like a statue. Yeah. For 3, 2, keep pushing through the heel. 1, pause, reverse direction, breath in, breath out for 5. Keep on breathing. 4, use more core strength. 3, keep that elbow nice. 2, 1, and then lift the leg up, hold it there. Energy through the foot. Feel the hip root down for 3, higher. 2, a little bit higher. 1, a little bit higher. Good. Slowly take the leg all the way back down onto the ground. Once the foot has grounded, go ahead and press yourself up to seated. Swing the legs around and we'll transition to our left side. So remember, we're lining up to start. Hand to hip, elbow to sky, pushing through the heels, bottom leg presses down, top leg hovers, internal rotation. Look straight ahead to line your neck up with your spine. And then as you breathe out, that right leg is lifting up. And then you're going to take it to hover. Now, never forget our core, right? Always is included. Exhale, navel pulls back to spine as the leg lifts. And then you'll hover it on and inhale. And we're doing 2 more of these. Good, back to hover. One more time, lifting leg up. And then this time we're going to take the leg all the way down for just a brief moment so that we can take our right hand to the floor, slowly start to pull the knees in, tuck them in tight, and then extend the legs out in front. Again, trying to get your body in 90 as much as possible. So sometimes we can get more of an acute angle, which it's not a terrible thing, but it's a lot easier to keep your spine long when your body is at 90 degrees. All right, and sometimes you may have to pull your left arm back to really line that all up. Bottom leg still pushing down, top leg hover. Remember, internally rotating, and remember that glass tube. Lift the leg up. And then take it back to hover. Slow lift, lift. Good, and back to hover. And we're only going to do 2 more of these. Check with your right elbow, adjust if needed. Woo. One more time. Yep, let's lift the leg up. And let's take it all the way back down. Once it has landed, bend the knee to the floor. Take a moment if you'd like to tap out that hip. Again, much more intense for that muscle to get the leg moving when your body is in a different angle. Okay, let's take the hand back to the floor so we can pull the knees in, then stretch our body out. So we always want to make sure we do that with safety, right? So that we don't just kind of swing the legs back. That can start to pull into our lower back, which we do not want. So hand back to hip, bottom leg pressing, top leg hovering. Now that top leg is going to pull back. Now again, our upper body tends to lean into it. Can we stay nicely stacked? On your breath out, that leg was lifting again, more into the glute, and then hover. Again, lift, push back with your heel, and then hover. We got 2 more left to go here. Find lift. Good, back to starting point. One last time, exhale, find the lift. Good, and then go ahead and bring it to hover, but then bring the leg back in line with the body and then pulsing up. Got to lift it a bit higher to start, but from there, try not to let the leg drop. Only think about pumping higher to sky for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, and then slowly take the leg down. Ooh, take a bend and a tap out again if you'd like to. And then we're going to be working with our left leg next, the inner thigh. So let's take our right foot and step it behind that left leg. Left leg is going to angle a bit more in front. Hand to hip, elbow pointing up, foot flexed, hovered, and externally rotated with the leg. On your exhale, the leg is going to lift up. Think of the inner edge of your heel leading the movement, and then hover it on an inhale. Again, finding lift. And then hover. We're doing 4 more of these. 4. And hover. 3 more. Good. Hover 2 more times. Lift. Good. And hover once more. The leg finds lift and we'll keep it here. Remember, marker on your heel now. Use control, breath work, core work to draw circles with that marker for 5. Keep on breathing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's pause. Reverse. Inhale, exhale. 5, 4. Keep a firm leg. 3, 2. Firm belly. 1. Good. And then lift the leg high. Hold it there. 4, 5. 4. A little bit higher. 3, keep that external rotation. 2, a little bit higher. 1, a little higher. Good, and then slowly take the leg back down onto the floor. All right, let's roll onto our back for a moment. Let's stretch out our inner thighs. So start with the knees drawn into chest. From here, you're going to open the knees out so they're just a bit wider than your shoulders. And then using your hands, really hug the legs in and up, right? In, up, but also feel the energy press out. And that starts to stretch into the inner thighs. So breathe into that space. It's almost like happy baby, but different, obviously, because our feet are relaxed and our legs are close into to themselves. Okay. Then from this space, start to bring the soles of the feet together. The knees come out even wider. Now holding on to feet or ankles, you're going to pull the feet towards your body while you push the knees away from body, but also really ground your tailbone into the floor. Gets a lot of groin stretch, inner thigh, and it opens up the hips. So take a moment here to breathe into those few areas of your body. Good, let's go ahead and let that stretch gently release. Let me just rock up briefly. You can stay as you are. I just, again, want to check the time to make sure. Okay, wonderful. I want us to move into teaser next. We haven't done teaser in a while, so we're going to do a couple first that are more modified, and then we'll build up from there. So you can choose, when I start to cue for more of the build up variations, you can always choose to stay with where we had started in that modified version. So we are going to start by taking your legs into tabletop, 90 degrees. Make sure the knees aren't in too close, right? Our booty did not lift up. Our tailbone is grounded. Arms are going to start overhead. So the beginning of this exercise is very similar to the roll up and the breathing pattern of it, as well as the movement of it. It's just the landing of, the ending point of is a bit different as our legs are elevating for that. So as we remember in our roll up, on an inhale, start lifting arms, head and shoulders, but we'll pull the arms forward and clasp behind the thighs. Then as you exhale, continue to lift your upper body up as your legs extend out and your back becomes flat and your heart lifts to sky. You can have your legs still bent as an option here as well. This is your teaser point, right? Your balance point, your sacral region between your tailbone and your lower back. Stay here on an inhale. And then on your exhale, begin to round your spine. Release the backs of the legs. Bring the legs back to tabletop as you reach your arms behind you. And we're going to do that again, modified. So inhale, start your lift. Clasp behind the thighs, use core strength. Exhale to lift you. Hug between your shoulder blades to lift your heart to sky. Stay here on an inhale. And then exhale, rebend the knees, round your spine, lower back down, release the backs of legs, arms reach behind you. Now go ahead and take your feet to the floor, just so that you can recover and rest. So that was a modified teaser. So we did use a bit of our arm strength to help pull us up, and we also used a bit of the momentum of our legs extending to help us lift as well. So for our next version, we're going to do the same movement of arms and legs, but instead of grabbing behind the legs, we're just going to have the arms extended out in front of us and then really focus on using more core strength to do the work, to do the lift. So let's bring the legs back to tabletop again. Arms are still behind us. So begin your lift on your inhale. Exhale, extend the legs out, draw the arms forward, and then the arms and legs now almost parallel to each other. Trying to get your toes in line with your nose. Stay here for an inhale. And then on the exhale, hands free, right? We return back down to our starting point, and we'll do that one once more. So start lifting on an inhale. Look slightly upward. That will keep you long in your spine. Stay lifted on an inhale. Exhale, return back down with control. This time, draw the knees all the way into the chest. Hold your knees with your hands, and if you'd like some movement here, you can certainly do that to recover. So we have the option here to stay with that one, right? Our less modified but still modified teaser. And then I will go ahead and offer a full teaser if you'd like to give that a try. If you're doing that, you're going to go ahead and start with the legs extended long onto the floor. So now you're going to imagine that your body was divided in two by being cut right at the hip point. So lower half of your body, upper half of your body is going to move simultaneously. And the lift of both upper and lower should be about equal, right? One shouldn't be doing more of the work than the other, right? Try to get it evened, balanced, and moving in sync. So we're divided at the hips, arms overhead. So now with a full-on teaser, breathe in, start lift upper body and lower body, and then exhale, coming up to your full expression of teaser end point. The arms draw forward, the heart lifts. Take an inhale for your hold. And then on your exhale, again, upper half and lower half, return down to the ground at the same time. So that's when your core has to work the hardest to make sure you just don't plop down really quickly. All right, we're gonna do 2 more just like that. And again, if you're finding that's not for you, please return to another variation that works best for you. Okay. We begin again by starting the movement on an inhale, finishing off with a strong exhale. Breathe in, hold your teaser point, and then exhale, return down, control to the very end. We'll do that 1 more time. Now let's stay here in our teaser and just breathe and hold this space for 3, 2, 1. Good. Take it all the way back down to the ground. Once you have come all the way down, take the arms to T and 1 knee at a time. You'll draw the legs towards your chest. Then you're going to lower both legs to your right side as you look over your left shoulder for a rotation. You could stagger the legs if needed. You could take your right hand to the outside of your left knee to press down on if you'd like. All right, so some options for your stretch here. Deep breaths in and long breaths out. Then 1 more inhale. Firm your belly, exhale, lift the legs up through center, head through center. Let's pause here so that you can inhale again. And then exhale, legs lower to your left. You'll look over right shoulder for, again, another rotation. Let your body really ease into this space, right? This is a twist that can be a sensitive movement for our spine. So making sure that you're not gripping or holding on to something physically in your body, that you're really letting yourself ease into, melt and really settle here in this space. Take 1 more big breath in. Firm in that belly, unwind on the exhale, come back through center. And then once you have centered, you're now going to rock yourself forward and back, up and down your spine, until you can rock yourself up with a bit of help from your core, all the way up to seated. And then at seated, again, just checking time, I just want to make sure that we're not too under or too over. I'm going to pull this up a bit so you can see me better, pardon me. There we go. We're going to come to a cross-legged position, rooting the sits bones into the earth, lifting the heart high. Let's have the arms beside us, but fingers tented, and then pushing off those fingertips to maintain that nice posture. We're then going to tip our head to the right ear to right shoulder. The right arm is going to wrap around the head. Place your hand along the left side, right at your temple, and then lightly press down. With your left hand tented beside you, see if you can crawl maybe a couple or a few steps away from body. And then as you do that, actively drop that left shoulder further away from your ear. Still keeping good posture in our spine. Let's inhale and lower the chin towards chest, stretching more into the back side of the neck. And then exhale, the chin comes up to sky, stretching more the front side of the neck. Again, chin coming down as you're breathing in. Chin lifting up as you breathe out. Let's take that once more. Chin towards chest, breath in. Chin to sky, breath out. Take your head back to that starting position. Start with the hand, release. Then the arm lowers down. Then finally the head pulls up slow. Again, this is another sensitive stretch. So if we were to get out of that really quickly and really tear our head up fast, that might not be so nice on our neck. So let's Be nice and easy on our bodies. Let's go over to the left side now, left ear, left shoulder. Left arm is going to wrap, hand along the right side this time, and then lightly press down. Once you've pressed down light, right hand, a couple or a few steps away, you'll crawl. And then you'll push into the ground with those fingertips and really actively drop that shoulder away from your ear. Good. With your next inhale, chin towards chest. And then exhale and lift the chin towards sky. Again, chin coming down on an inhale. Chin lifting up on the exhale. And we'll do that one more time. Chin towards chest, breathe it in. Chin towards the sky, breathing out. Head back to that starting position. Start with the hand release, then the arm coming down. Let's keep our head tilted to the left. And then as you breathe in, roll your chin down towards your chest and then continue to roll head so the right ear meets up with the right shoulder again. You're looking straight ahead. Then other direction, roll chin to chest and continue over left ear, left shoulder. Inhale, roll chin down, ear to shoulder, and exhale over to the other side. Take your time with this one. Let's do one more each. Breath in, roll down and over to your right, and then exhale down and over to your left, and then we'll bring the chin to chest, keep it there, and then begin to slowly lift your head right back up to a neutral position. From neutral, let's take the arms down beside with now palms turned up. As you inhale, take the arms out wide and then lift them up high. Touch the hands above you and then exhale, pull your hands within you to heart space. We'll do that a couple more times. So inhale, sweep down, reach out and lift up. And then on the exhale, pull within yourself. One more time, inhale, sweep up high, gather the energy, hold the energy above you, and then bring the energy within you. Keep your hands here, lower your chin to chest, and close your eyes. Thank yourself for the practice you have given your body, your mind, and soul for being here, being present, focused, and giving body, mind, and soul this opportunity of movement, breath, and connection. So thank you guys very much. Enjoy this class, enjoy your Friday and your weekend. I will see everyone very soon, and we'll continue to work and breathe and connect. So enjoy. Thank you guys.